Man, we have not been here in a hot minute. Anyways, today we have to talk about some Guilty Gear Strive because, well, Evo is pretty soon. That means season 3 is pretty soon too, or at least, the big reveal for season 3. I kind of want to make a wish list. I know it's kind of pointless to make those, but I'm just speaking things into existence here, to be honest. So, we're going to do that today, just like we did last year. Anyways, I want to talk about season 2 first of all because season 2 was a pretty controversial time for Guilty Gear Strive. I mean, it started with Bridget launching, and I don't even want to talk about any drama that happened with that. But regardless, it's just a bunch of idiots on the internet. Regardless, it was cool, but even Bridget had ups and downs with the character because she wasn't that great at first. And then we had the patch, and the patch was nice. Oh no, we had Sin before that even. We had Sin before the patch, and that was. And also then we had the patch, and the patch was really good, unless you were a Sin player, of course. And then we had Bedman, and let's not talk about Bedman. And then we had crossplay, and crossplay was awesome. But then let's not talk about the servers. And then finally we got Asuka, and Asuka is a big W. So it's been it's been pretty rough for this game. I'm going to make my list. There's going to be a couple things that we talk about, like quality of life changes, gameplay mechanics, like core mechanics and stuff like that. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about balance. So starting with quality of life changes, very less important things, right? That are not that big of a deal, right? They could be there, they might not be, it's fine, but it would be preferable to have them, in my opinion. And that's things like new menus. New menus are really nice to have. It gives a new, fresh coat of paint to the game. It's season 3, make it look nice. I know they want to go with the simplistic style that people don't like, apparently, but I think it's totally fine. But it's also nice to have good graphics design, things that we see like on the timer and stuff like that on the UI. That's cool. If we can have more stuff like that for the menus, hey, sure, go ahead, do that. I'll be totally down for that. More things that we need to is stuff like new characters, intros and outros, like interactions. Doing stuff like the Kai and Soul intro in the reveal trailer of Guilty Gear Strive. Stuff like that would be really dope to have in the game, actually. And speaking of intros and matches and stuff like that, they could also adjust the starting point of some songs in the game, specifically Baiken's theme and also Badman's theme. More colors would be also nice. I would also like to request actual frame data in the game because I'm really sick of fighting games not adding frame data. I don't know why they're so secretive about it. The UI of the game, I would really like them to make it more informative, first of all, but also movable. So what I mean by that, what I mean by informative, back in the days, in 2019, when people could not play Guilty Gear Strive, the test build that people could actually, so that some people got access to, had a thing where when you do a wall break or some other things, you would have an icon that would actually indicate that you have positive bonus. Can we have that again? Please, can we have little icons like that again? That would be really nice, because you have a character, say like Kai, you do this, and I mean, that's cool. That's a cool effect on the character. Like, yeah, that's awesome. But more importantly, I would like to have an icon on that. Stuff like this would be nice. Movable UI, what I mean by that is, you see they have like special gauges and tension gauge being all the way down. Why do we still have to look up and down like in a triangle formation to see what's my health, what's my opponent's health, what's the tension, what's my tension, and what's my special gauge? Please let us move all this stuff all the way up with the health gauge. That would be lovely. I would love this. It's an option. I'm not trying to say just make it mandatory. It's an option. Can we have options? Besides that, the last thing that I would like to talk about when it comes to quality of life, which is pretty mandatory actually, is something that a lot of people talk about, which is the tower system, specifically the setup for the matches not being first to three, and also the fact that there is no proper rank system in the game. So first to three, well, not first to yeah, first to three would be actually awesome. Obviously, I think nobody would be against the idea of having a first to three setup in the tower. But also the ranked matches would be nice. However, there's a big problem with ranked matches and the tower, and is the idea that the tower kind of goes against the idea of ranked matches. Because the tower is kind of trying to keep people together in a space. Meanwhile, ranked matches is more like you're out in the open, right? Right? Because I think Celestial should become like a condition, like a placement, so you can play ranked tower. And also, by the way, speaking of the tower, it would be nice if they could cut a couple floors from the tower, cut it in half basically, make it 5 floors instead of 10. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about when it comes to quality of life changes. Now let's talk about gameplay changes and core mechanics that I think need to actually change. So 3 things that are really important in my opinion is currently the state of 2 mechanics. Well, I put it in one block, but because I think they're pretty similar and I think they should have similar changes, and that's negative penalty and positive bonus. Those 2 mechanics create such disparity that I think they have to change. They need some kind of rework. Another mechanic that is kind of a problem, well, it's not a mechanic, but it's just like an aspect of the game, and that's the really high damage of this game. And then finally, the last more important aspect is the wall break, the wall break system, and we're gonna talk about that too. So negative penalty and positive bonus. First of all, let's talk about those 2. I think I'll talk about the changes first, and I'll explain my logic. So that's exactly what I think negative penalty should actually do. See the amount of meter I gain from all that after the RC. It's pretty much nothing at all. I think this should be the new effect of negative penalty. So whenever you hit the opponent, you build way less meter. But also another thing I think negative penalty should do is that it should actually significantly, well, not too much obviously, but the change should be noticeable. It should noticeably reduce the amount of damage you deal to the opponent. So I think it would be nice to let negative penalty not take away the meter but reduce the amount you gain. So that way, if I actually manage to break the wall because I did a good combo, but I get less damage obviously from it because of negative penalty, I think that would be a great way to actually change the mechanic. So that it's not punishing, it's not as punishing, and it gives you choices. You can have the choice to play more defensively, you can have the choice to create space and to have freedom in your movement. Because in this game, movement is already limited. We are basically in a cage. There's no reason for negative penalty to be the way it is. Like in other games, right, like Blaze Blue or even older Guilty Gear games, the screen is just bigger. The screen space is huge. The stages are way bigger than what we have in Strive, right? They're way bigger. So there's really no reason for negative penalty to work the way it does. I think it would be just much better for it to be a thing where you gain less meter on attacks. So that means even if the opponent is blocking your moves, right? You're not getting as much in terms of meter, right? I think this would be really nice, and it can last for like 5 seconds. I think that would be totally fine. You deal less damage, you gain less meter on attacks in general. I think that would be totally fine. Now, positive bonus is supposed to be totally the same in my opinion. Positive bonus should actually be the same, but instead of affecting your damage, it affects your defense. So positive bonus also, right, like I said, if it's the same, you gain more on attacks in general, right? You gain more on offense, but instead of giving you, because it actually gives you a small increase in terms of damage and defense in this game, I think it should give you just a bonus defense, because I'm thinking of other factors, right? You know how characters like say Nago Ryuki with blood level 0, or even Potemkin, they have like huge amount of health, right? They have a lot of health, or they have a lot of defense in general. I think there should be a defense modifier on positive bonus that makes it so the damage you take is kind of similar to the damage they take whenever they get hit, so that your health pool becomes kind of a resource that you can trade for your meter during positive bonus. I think that would be way better for a lot of characters, and it would be way less abusable for some characters that are just way too good. So I think that's the way both positive bonus and actually negative penalty should work. They should just affect your character on attacks and not just standing still. Standing still is kind of stupid, in my opinion. But yeah. Now, the other thing that we have to talk about, like I said, is damage. And overall damage, the game will be always a high damage game. That's just how it's designed to be. And that's fine. I like high damage game. But there are cases of high damage in this game that are a little bit too much. I'm sorry, but this has to go. The damage is simply too high for all the rewards you get off of throw. Throw is already good. This is a strike throw game, right? It's strike throw heavy. And to be honest with you, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine that there's throw loops. I'm totally fine that throw is something that you can RC into a wall break. I'm totally fine. So it's a Oki. It gives you Oki. Dude, it beats DPs and jabs. Like, it's so strong, right? I'm fine. The meter gain. Look at the meter gain on this thing compared to what the opponent is gaining to. It's wild. Throw does so many things. That's okay. Cut the damage in half, please. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that I can do this and then whoop-de-doo, you do it again and oh my god, you lost again. It's kind of crazy. The damage is just so high on throw. The other case of high damage I think exists in the game is this. This is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. I just want them to just tone down this type of damage. So finally, the last thing we have to talk about is wall break. Obviously, that is the big elephant in the room, and it's been since the beginning. Wall break is just a very, I would say, unintuitive mechanic in this game, and I think they have to change the way it works. Now, I don't know how they could do that, but at least I would like them to actually give us some kind of visual indicator that the wall is about to break. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they can do it. I think at least maybe if they do it so, they make it so, right, your combo counter it goes like from, I don't know, yellow to red, and red means the wall is about to break whenever you hit the opponent like this. I would like that. I would appreciate that way more than just leaving it this way and there's no way to tell if the wall is going to break or no. And that way it's also easier to see for characters that have higher wall break values as well. Say for example, Jacko has a very high wall break value. She just hits somebody and then the wall just goes boom. So that's it for the core mechanics. I don't really want to talk about other things because some people talk about like IB, IFD. I think those mechanics are totally fine in my opinion and they don't really need more. Anyways, regardless, we have to talk about character balance now, and this is the most sensitive topic, right? So, character balance, in my opinion, when it comes to this game, is actually pretty good. Overall, when you think about it, you see characters like Jacko, characters like Kai. I think they're doing fine. Yeah, maybe some characters are a little bit better than others, but I think overall, it's nice. Until the offenders come into play, right? Until we have the big offenders, the game is no longer fun at that point, right? You have characters, say like Happy Chaos, Ram, Nago, May, Leo. They just show up and these guys, they just ruin the party for everybody. You have other characters that are very strong too, like say Chip or even Zato, who are arguably, honestly, top tier characters as well. But I would say they're not in the same league at all. They're really not. These characters are just YOLO characters that can just, they literally YOLO characters who just die. Meanwhile, the other ones, as long as they have 1 HP, they are a massive threat. They are beyond a massive threat. They're just wait. They're still playing the game. So yeah. Even and it's not about like character strength. Like I'm not a tournament player. I don't give a fuck about that. It's just that they're so not fun to fight too. So I just think the characters need to be more fun to fight. And for that reason, I think it's mandatory that our system actually stops making dumb design decisions. And when I say dumb design decisions, I mean in both ways, dumb good and dumb bad. So an example of dumb good is actually a character like Mei. She has a lot of good things, right? Mei is crazy. She has so many good things. Her combo potential is massive. Like I feel like compared to any other characters, she's the closest to I would say Release Soul. She's so dumb, and Release Soul was also really dumb. But I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. However, less damage, please. If the character is this freeform and dumb, then she doesn't need the damage she's currently doing. Besides that, another character that is another example of dumb good is Happy Chaos. I've been picking up Happy Chaos recently, and I gotta say, the character is fun to play. However, what's really dumb is that it's something that I don't actually do with Happy Chaos because it's such a stupid thing that it doesn't even come to mind. The fact that you can whiff a button into gunshot. There's no way this design it's still gonna be around and this game's gonna be good. They have to stop this kind of design at once, please. Examples of dumb bad characters, right? We have Sin and Batman, the elephants in the room once again, right? The problem with Sin, there's only two things I don't understand. His mobility. Why the fuck is his backdash the way it is? Why can he not have a regular like invincibility window and a regular airborne time like anyone else? But the range of his backdash is still really good. Like why can he not just have that strength? The other thing that I hate about Sin is minus on hit special moves like Big Driver. Just remove that. I don't care. There's no reason why that exists. There can be any other type of weakness. If you want unique stuff about characters, they can imagine anything at all. But that shit has to go. Again, dumb bad designs. Please stop it. Batman. What can we even say about that character? The hurt box of that character is tragic. Frame data is tragic. Movement is tragic. I would really like to know, like, what's good about this character? Like, what is it that's so special about it? He's 8-way air dash that can all get 6 speed because his hurt box is massive, like crazy. I don't know. But yeah, that's another example of really dumb bad design, and there's no idea of like a proper strength that the character has. Meanwhile, Asuka's been doing really well. They've done an amazing job with Asuka. But yeah, when it comes to balance, that's the main thing that I really want to talk about. It's the main thing. I don't care about frame data. I don't care about characters not doing this or that. It's just that there's like some dumb decisions that I think should change. Finally, I said that's all. But the reality is that there's one more thing I would like to talk about when it comes to balance, and I think it's actually the most important thing in my opinion. Again, this is a wish list, so I don't really expect any of that to happen, but I would really like to just pick this one into existence, and that's the new moves that they need to add to the game. Say we go get Ram real quick, right? So when I talk about new moves, here's what I'm talking about. Obviously, everybody would be excited to see brand new moves, right? Because, oh my god, characters only have like 4 specials in this game. Oh my god, it's so tragic. But what Asuka did when they actually released that character is that you quickly realize that a character can just have 4 special moves, and they have so much into those 4 special moves, right? And I think it's mostly because you can have different versions of those 4 special moves. Now for Asuka, because of the system of the character, it's pretty simple to have a ton of different special moves, right? Because that's how he is. But other characters can benefit from a similar design, actually. For example, Ram, because I pick Ram, or I would pick Ram or Nago, because those characters, in my opinion, because they're so strong and so good, I think they get a lot of hate naturally. A lot of people are like, oh my god, these characters are so good, they're way too strong. But at the same time, you also have to realize a character that got hit so hard that is now in a position that is not so great, not because it's bad, because it's boring, is actually Soul. A lot of people said Soul was really, really strong at the start of the game, and that's true. However, Soul got a lot of nerfs eventually, way too many nerfs in my opinion, and apparently the character has become more and more boring to play for Soul players. I think it's kind of tragic whenever you have characters and they just become boring. I think I would not like to see characters like Ram or Nago or HC. I don't want to see them becoming boring. I think they're fine. I think it's fine for those characters to have the strengths that they have. It's just that they are designed in a way to be only strong. It's just they're always only strong, you know. That's the problem with these characters, and that's why I want new moves, because I think new moves not only can make characters, say like Ram is very linear character that a lot of people have complained about it. That's just kind of boring, even though she's very strong. Like new moves or new versions of moves can make the character more interesting to play, while also nerfing the character and making them kind of more technical or more, let's say, diverse, right? So obviously Rem is really strong because of this. This move is really stupid. It's basically like you have Kai using charge stunnage at the speed of regular stunnage, and he recovers way faster. Like imagine that would be a nightmare, huh? So I think new versions of this kind of move would help a lot, because now you could have similar systems as Testament, a health version for Bayonetto, right? Imagine you have the regular version would just be same speed, but doesn't knock you all the way over there. Actually doesn't throw the sword away. It's like a thrust. Let's say it's just like a thrust that just pushes you away and just soft knocks down you, right? I think that way would be totally fine, rather than having like this thing. If you want this, you have to hold the button, and it has to be actually longer. The startup would be longer. So that way she can only use it closer to walls after doing stuff like this, right? That would be the only time she can do that. But again, new moves like that could help a lot. I don't know exactly what would be the effect on the character, but it's just ideas that can affect the way the character plays in a way that she's like more interesting to play, or she has like more diversity. Even Nago could benefit from that. He can have like a more blood efficient versions of every move that he has, but they're like less effective. They give him less 50-50 situations, or less OK. So that would be, I think that would be nice. I think new versions could definitely be very healthy for this game, and they can add a lot of variety for tons and tons of characters. You can have different ones. You can have I don't know, slash and heavy slash version of the same moves. You can have air OK version of the same moves. You can have held versions of the same move. You can have cancels versions of the same moves. So for example, you know, Chip has Alpha Blade. You can do Alpha Blade cancel, right? And then you just, I don't know, teleport. That's a way to add teleport in the game. I don't know what it could add to the character, but it's the kind of thing that can make it fun to play the characters more, right? That's just my opinion. Again, it's just a wish list. I don't think any of that could happen. I don't even think it could have the effect that I think it will have. But I just want to see a change that is very drastic in season 3. That's all I really want. So thank you all so much for watching. That's all I wanted to talk about. What do you think would be actually nice to see in season 3? Because I think I've made a pretty nice list. Maybe you can make a nice list too in the comments. I would love to read some of the changes that people would like to see. And if I said something that you don't agree with, go ahead in the comments. Let's talk about it, because I think it's the most important thing for this game is to actually have more and more healthy discussions. Anyways, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.